In a quiet coastal town named Willowshore, where the waves whispered secrets and the sunsets painted the skies in poetry, lived a man named Eliot Grey. Eliot was born blind. Never once had he seen the face of the ocean, the rustling trees, or the glowing skies that danced at dusk. And yet, Eliot was known as the sunset painter. People came from nearby cities, some from countries far away, just to see his work: vivid, breathtaking landscapes of sunsets, rolling hills bathed in twilight, and skies that shimmered with color and emotion. It left most with a single burning question: how could someone who had never seen light paint with such brilliance? The answer lay not in Eliot's eyes, but in his heart. You see, Eliot had grown up surrounded by people who cared. His mother, Helen, used to describe the world to him in astonishing detail. Every evening, she would take him out to the porch and narrate the sunset like a story, not just the colors, but the feeling of it. "Eliot," she'd say, "tonight the sun is a golden coin slipping behind the ocean's palm. The sky is wrapped in a robe of lavender and fire." And he'd sit there, eyes closed, listening, seeing through her words. After Helen passed away when Eliot was 20, he was heartbroken. The world grew silent. He stopped asking people to describe sunsets. But one day, feeling a hole too big to ignore, he picked up a brush, something he hadn't done since childhood, and started painting based only on what he remembered from his mother's voice. That first painting wasn't perfect, but it felt like something. Word got out. His neighbors were stunned. They couldn't believe someone who'd never seen color could make it come alive. Soon, people began visiting him, not just to see his work, but to be a part of it. They would sit with Eliot, describing the sunset to him in their own words. "It looks like the sky is crying orange," one child said. "It's like the world is being kissed goodnight," whispered an elderly woman. And Eliot would listen. He wouldn't ask, "What color is the cloud?" He'd ask, "How does it make you feel?" With every canvas, he painted not just what they described, but what he felt through their emotions. His paintings became mirrors for the soul. They revealed not what the eye could see, but what the heart could feel. But not everyone understood. One day, a famous art critic named Victor Lane visited Eliot's studio. Victor was blunt and skeptical. "This is a gimmick," he scoffed. "It's emotional manipulation. You can't paint what you can't see." Eliot smiled gently and handed Victor a brush. "Then paint me a sunset," he said. "I'm not a painter," Victor replied. "But you can see," Eliot said. "Surely it should be easy for you." Victor stood frozen. That moment changed something in him. That night, he stayed and described the sunset to Eliot, haltingly, awkwardly at first. "The clouds are dark orange, maybe. There's some pink." But as Eliot gently asked him more, "What does the sunset remind you of? When have you felt like this before?" Victor's voice cracked. "It feels like the day my daughter left for college. Proud, but sad." Eliot painted silently. The next day, Victor stood before the finished canvas and wept. The painting wasn't just a sunset. It was his sunset, his feelings, his story. And for the first time in years, he felt seen. From that day forward, Victor became Eliot's biggest supporter. He wrote articles not about the blind man who paints, but about the man who helps others see. Eliot never called himself an artist. He said he was just a translator. He translated emotion into color. He gave people the chance to slow down and describe beauty, not through their eyes, but through their hearts. Children who had trouble speaking, elderly folks who had long forgotten how to describe wonder, all came to Eliot. He listened, he painted, and in return, he taught them something they had forgotten: that to see clearly, you must first feel deeply. Years later, when Eliot passed away, the town of Willowshore held a sunset vigil. They didn't mourn in silence, they painted. Hundreds of canvases. No perfection, just pure feeling. Vision is deeper than sight. What Eliot taught the world is something we often forget in our scroll-heavy, fast-paced lives. That real vision comes from slowing down, feeling, connecting. In a world obsessed with appearances, he showed that the deepest beauty is the one we feel, not the one we see. If this story moved you, take a moment today, not to look, but to see. Describe a sunset, a moment, or a memory in words. Drop it in the comments. Let your heart paint something beautiful. And if Eliot's story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Wisdom Tales, where every story opens a new way of seeing life. Because sometimes the clearest eyes are the ones closed in feeling.